Blog Talk Radio.
Sunset. Like any great melting, heats a vibrant fire that blends wounded parts together in a magic show that transforms. Reminds you of a past where the sunrise woke your senses with rays and flares. You realize In Between is a powerful social theater production that sent you through a powerful roller coaster journey, packed with friends, family, and strangers not so strange anymore. There, knowing, soon comes the answers from above, an open sky of wisdom of those who came before, those that cheered you on from the future, a moon that lights your eyes, knowing a rock is near by keeping you company. Then a falling star, a dream worth claiming, appreciating and making your own. Like anything, it's gone that fast, but you know you got it, and the celebration just might be a slumber away. Maybe, just maybe, the people dancing in your mind aren't that far away.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Speaking Poorly radio show. I'm your host today, Anthony Potter, and we want to give a shout-out to La Indita Mexican Restaurant, providing indigenous and Mexican food for the past 30 years, and giving a place for social justice issues to be brought to the community. We want to give a shout out to the 420 Social Club on 4th Avenue, providing a safe place to medicate and to hang out and get involved in different activities. Today we are here, we're speaking with Mercedez Da Pimp, Chicana Motivational Speaker and CEO of Chicano TV. Mercedez will be talking about going from homelessness to a journey to become the Chicana Motivational Speaker. She has been helping push Bernie Sanders Latino votes and speaking in front of 13,000 people in the same park where she would sleep when she was homeless. Her message is to never give up no matter how bad it looks. Se puede. Thank you. Welcome to the show, Mercedez. It's good to have you here. So tell me, how have you been?
I've been doing good, Anthony. How are you? It's
good.
Been a while since I've seen you.
Good. I've just been hanging out and doing a lot of stuff. Of course, I just got out of jail again, so that's always good social theater. So tell me, how long were you on the streets?
Well, it started off that we weren't like making ends meet, and then we ended up homeless. So we ended up in a shelter, and because I had such an older child, there was no shelter that would take both of us but the Greyhound Family Shelter, which is the only family shelter in the state of Arizona. And as you know, if you live in a shelter, they don't provide you food stamps. That's the only family shelter in the state of Arizona. It's also the only shelter that does not provide you food. So we solely were based off of kind of like the food bank. Well, during August of 2014, the food bank was completely empty. So there was really no way we were eating. We were just going to Casa Maria and back, and it was so unhealthy, and I really didn't know what to do. I just went into homelessness because I was always in sales and marketing, so I made a lot of money. I used to sell timeshares, and then when the economy hit in 2010, everything just went down. I lost everything, and I never really thought that the money was ever going to end, and it sure did. And then when I ended up homeless, it was kind of a shock to me, and it was more a shock to me because I was already a public figure, and people were like, how are you homeless? You know what I mean? How did that happen to you? And it actually can happen to anybody. It can happen in a blink of an eye, you know what I'm saying, when you least expect it. And it actually showed me to be humble. And when we were at this shelter, I noticed they were really, like, abusive. They didn't, try to, help us out at all. They didn't want us to socialize with one another so we wouldn't be able to help one another. It's almost like we hated each other. And I kind of wanted to stop all that. So I asked the Primavera Foundation if I could hold a concert to fill up the community food bank. And mind you, nobody knows yet that I'm in a shelter. everybody still thinks that I'm doing promotion work. I'm doing promotions, and I'm a promoter, for Chicano TV. And when we started off at the shelter, we had lost everything. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any heels. I didn't have anything at all. So I set up a concert down the street at Club 4th Avenue, which is about 4 blocks from my shelter. And then the day of the concert, I had to get dressed, and it was kind of like funny. I felt like Cinderella because all the children in the shelter started, I don't want to say stealing, I want to say borrowing because they returned it, things from their mothers, that were kind of like skanky looking, like a skanky dress or high heels or earrings. And they were coming almost like if I was Cinderella and they were my mice, and they dressed me up. I had like sandals on. I walked down the street and I threw them in a bush, and then I put on my high heels. And I did the concert beautifully. I filled up the community food bank for everybody that year. And then I just continued to do concert after concert, just helping the community. And nobody knew we were still in the shelter program. And then finally we got out of the shelter program, and there was this one incident where the mayor refused to show up for some children, that it was a teen conference, and it was at Wakefield Middle School, and it's closed down. Well, he mistook it for a different school in Sabino Canyon. So he said he would speak, and he ended up going, and as he's going down 6th Avenue, he's like, where are we going? And he just takes off, leaves the children, they're crying. They call me, and they're like, Mercedes, the mayor just, dissed us.
Don't tell me it was Jonathan.
It was.
Wow.
It was him. That's why every time, he does, speeches or stuff, they'll ask me to go because he physically runs from me because I want to ask him why he abandoned those children. Why did he not go to that school? Was it because they were a group home and foster kids? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't actually, someone that would vote for him. So I've always wanted to ask him why he didn't show up. So I actually showed up, and when we were there, the children, I knew all the children. Well, they just finished clothing me, and they started high-fiving me, and the people that hired me to go do the motivational speech were like, what's wrong with this girl? The children are high-fiving her, giving her hugs, she knows these kids, what? They almost stayed in shock. And then that's when I got on stage, and I had to admit that we were in a shelter program, too. We were poor, and we were in the same position as all the children, and it was quite amazing. Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting, and it really shows a lot about your strength as a person and how no matter what circumstance life put you in, that's when that person just shined as bright as they could with all the resistance that was there. But one thing we definitely don't ever talk about when it comes to the homeless, we don't talk about the working mother who's about to lose everything, who's thinking of everybody but her. How she's thinking, how am I going to do this or how am I going to do that? What's that like when you are the sole breadwinner? You're the one keeping everybody running, and the kingdom's about to fall.
It's really hard. It's very hard to be a tree and not shake, when you have your branches. Because if I shake, then I shake all my branches. And that's why I try my hardest to be very strong. And I became a Chicana Motivational Speaker so other women can see me and they can see where I came from. I came from nothing. I have no parents. I'm on my own. I'm state raised, and I still make it. I still go out and do it. I still get up every day. There's no reason why you should not.
This is all going up. What's available to you as far as assistance? Is there people that would like to help you, but they're not in a situation to do it themselves? Is there organizations that would like to? Funding's not there. Don't worry about that. That's just annoying. Mm-hmm. But what's that situation like?
Oh, it was horrible. It's actually horrible. There's no real funding for homeless people in the state of Arizona at all, whatsoever. you stay on the streets and they really don't care. People are just so heartless here. They won't even think of you twice when you're there. The one thing I do thank God for is the fact that He made me humble enough to see homelessness in my face, so I don't ever turn my face away from someone that needs help.
And so when you're on the street, when you're sleeping here or you're trying to sleep here, you're trying to keep your boys safe because you know about the threat of CPS. You know the threat of how people are going to judge you as a mother.
Yes.
Because of the position you're in, the position you're putting them in, and how everything's going on. You don't want to deal with that, so you're trying to be protected and do everything you can to keep that away.
Yes.
What are you hearing people say, just in general, about people that are homeless, about their opinions of it? And you're hearing this, and you don't even appear that way to them.
Well, the one thing that I did notice a lot was that the women abandoned their children when we were in the shelters. And it was always put in their head like they're better off with the CPS system, and when you guys get back on your feet, then you guys can get them back. That is not true. You should never leave your child. You should fight with your child no matter what. You do not abandon your child at all. And that's one of the main things that I preached, because when we were in that shelter, I was the only single mother that kept my child. Every single mother. There was only 3 parents, and the other 2 parents were mother and father that did not. And I mean, I saw the children. They would cry to their parents, and they would tell them, please, I won't eat as much, I won't. And they're like, no, I just have the little ones. And they're abandoning the larger ones, and they don't understand that this is when they need them the most, you know? So on my own, I took them all in, and I actually take care of like 88 children that were abandoned.
And so when you're in this position, part of what you're being told is if you want to stay here, here's the hoops you're going to have to jump through. These are our rules.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do this, you're going to have to go do this. We'll help you here, but you got to still take care of this here. At the same time, you're running around doing all that. And this is Arizona, so you're probably doing it in the extreme heat.
Yes.
You're trying to be a mother to them.
Yes.
How do you keep from losing it?
There's only one person that keeps me from losing, and that's God. Let's be real. If you don't have God in your life, then you really don't have anything. You will have no sanity at all. He is the only person you can really turn to. And I'm being real. He is the only person you can turn to. If you don't have God in your life, you will lose it. He's the person I can talk to. He's the person I can lean on. When I have nobody there, he's the person I scream out to.
And so, how long are you doing all this, and how long are you trying to do something before you have that moment where the idea comes into your head that, hey, this is your current situation, but at the same time, you're not that person because you're this person professionally and this person personally, and you have a voice that people listen to. You have something that people look at. Tell us the story how you get to that moment where it comes to you saying, I'm just not this person, but I'm still this person, and I can channel everything to that.
Comes down to humbleness. It comes down to that I became humble, and I let everybody know, look, I am poor. I did go homeless. And, I might not be there right now, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be there tomorrow. It can happen to anybody at any point in time. So I'm never going to doubt that I'll ever be back in that situation. But here's where I'm at right now, and anything I can do to help anyone out, that's what I'm here for.
And so tell me, where did you get this idea of Chicano News Now?
Chicano Motivational Speaker. Well, I started doing motivational speaking, and then I began with a couple shows that I did here and there, and I noticed it motivated a lot of women. So then I started doing like Sexy Mama's Night Out, where I motivated ladies to come out, and I would let 100 women come out, and they got to go in for free and just kind of get that one day off that they finally never get, because a lot of mothers just want that one day off. And if they had that one day off, they'd be nicer to their children. They'd have the house more together. They wouldn't kind of lose it. They need a break. Women really do need a break. And so that's why I kind of pushed myself to start doing things for women. Like every month I try to do something for women where they can go out, they can enjoy themselves for free, and they don't take it out on their children, because children are a blessing. And at the end, we really are nowhere without our kids.
And so tell us, Chicano TV, for the people that aren't from Arizona, the people that haven't heard about it, tell us about that.
Well, Chicano TV kind of started off being kind of like funny, like Mad TV, but a lot of people, the word Chicano is so strong, they would get upset when we do jokes and stuff like that. We're funny people too, you know what I mean? We have a sense of humor, and they get really mad. They would always be like, live up to your name, Chicano TV, And it's like, you don't understand. We're supposed to be like Mad TV. We're supposed to be funny. They gave me such like hard time, like live up to the name. That was like, okay, well, you guys are going to get it. Now you're going to get Chicana Motivational Speaker. And now I'm going to hit you hard with just everything Chicano.
And so tell us about how has your life been with that?
Well, we started off Chicano TV about 10 years ago, and we started off on public access television. And it was kind of on and off. And so we started on Facebook. We started running steadily to the point where they're even paying us for our views. It's like that good. And it just blew up from there. And then from there I just started blowing up, and they asked me to host like a lot of jobs. Like tomorrow I'm hosting this girl, Bella. She's actually from Meth of Madness. She hasn't been on stage in 6 years, and I motivated her to go on stage tomorrow here at Sky. And she's like from Europe. So I'm motivating every woman I can.
Awesome. And tell me, what's the difference that you see in the morale and just the people that you've seen your children become because they saw the choices you made and they experienced what they had to go through?
I think it's really amazing because I was always like on the streets. I was a gang member. I was not a very good person. And so now like my kids see me and the kids that I mentor, they see that I do all this stuff, and they step back and they're like, wait a minute, if she changed her life around, we can do it too. We don't have to be a mean person. We don't have to steal. We don't have to gangbang. You know what I'm saying? Mercedes did it, and now she's helping people out. I helped start the Our Family program that puts women out of homelessness, and I just continue to help with programs and start programs, and it's so motivating that it even motivates the children. Like they start seeing it, they're like, "What? I can't believe she's actually doing all that." And whether I get paid or not, it really doesn't matter. It's the passion that I have, that I love to help people. That makes me so happy inside. That's all that matters. It should never matter about money. You should always help someone out, always, no matter, even if you don't have it or not. There's always a way you can help someone out.
And so, when it's like we both pay attention to each other. We pay attention to a lot of other people. We bring a lot of attention to people. When you see stuff on the news or around town about criminalizing someone because they want to sleep somewhere, because they need to use the bathroom. What goes through your mind?
It infuriates me. It infuriates me because, I mean, honestly, I think everybody should have a place to stay. The whole point is, the whole reason we're Americans is because this is our place. There's no reason why there should not be a place for everyone to sleep and stay. It's just ridiculous. They take people's taxes. They take people's Social Security. Why not give them a place to stay?
So when it's like part of when we're telling people we need to do this or do that. One, tell us about your experience speaking in front of over 10,000 people in Tucson and opening up, getting people excited for Bernie Sanders.
Oh, I love that always. Bernie's amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard him speak, but he actually moves me. He moves me. I mean, he is so amazing. I can't even amount to what Bernie has done. He has recognized. He's actually gone into the field and stopped them from just being abusive to pickers and not giving the right kind of wage for laborers. I mean, everything Bernie has done is just so amazing. Like, all you got to do is repeat what he's done. You know, there's really, people motivate themselves when it comes to Bernie.
Tell me this, how come Bernie hasn't said anything about homeless rights or mentioned homeless people? He's mentioned people unemployed. He's mentioned a lot of other things. Why do you think he hasn't mentioned this? Do you think it's a foresight? Do you think he got caught up in the moment? Or do you think that's not really something he has in mind?
I think Bernie doesn't plan on leaving anybody homeless. I think Bernie plans on giving everybody a home. That's what I think Bernie's planning on doing. He plans on giving everybody a job and everybody a home. He doesn't want people to go to war, all that money that we're spending over there. He's like, we could be building roads. We could be fixing our train tracks. We can be fixing our bridges. All that's employment for our people. All that will give them a home. So what he's trying to do is just give us all our money that we earned. That's the way he's seeing it. So he's basically, in other words, Bernie doesn't want us homeless. He just wants to give us work and a home. If it was up to Bernie, and he's in the presidency, he would completely give us all a home. As long as you're an American, you'd get a home. If it was up to him, that's how wonderful he is. And I think that's why he hasn't touched the homeless issue, because he is planning on making sure we all have a job.
And so it's like, I've been to the Bernie rally. At one of them, I was getting signatures to legalize recreational use of marijuana, and I got like 300 or 400 signatures there. It's really easy when he's saying legalize, and you're right there with the petition.
Yes.
And then I was also at the one at Reed Park, where he spoke there. So it's like, when I'm there, just because I am who I am, I'm near the crowd, and I think, oh, there's Mercedes, there's Isabel, there's this person, there's that person. I'm seeing friends of mine up there with Bernie. You have a friend of mine who knows me, knows I know some of those people, maybe more. He wants to get more involved. He's trying to figure out, I'm not Bernie, but I want to do something here, because we just can't count on Bernie being Bernie.
Yeah.
We have to get involved here.
Yes, true.
What do you say to that person?
Get involved, definitely. There's no reason why you guys are being arrested for a plant. That is absolutely ridiculous. Everyone should have the right to their choice, and I'm all for weeds rights.
And so, where do you see you going from here? You're a motivational speaker. You have this long journey. You've been a mother. You've been a public speaker.
All I can say is that the one thing that I'm doing is I'm just going to continue to motivate and electrify, especially women, because women need it the most. They get belittled a lot. They get put down a lot. And if they see that one figure, you know what I'm saying? And I get it a lot. Even when I go to shows, I have girls that walk up to me. They even dress like me. And they're like, I want to thank you, Mercedes, because I'm a heavy-set woman, and I see how you dress, and you actually inspire me to dress this way. I'm actually one of the first plus-size models out there. So I've been inspiring a lot of people, to just be comfortable with who they are. Just period, point blank. And that's just what I'm going to continue to do. I just love to motivate and electrify. That's my most thing. But it's not even so much that I'm a Chicana motivational speaker. I love everybody. I don't care if, what they are. A lot of people don't understand the word Chicano, what it means. The word Chicano means multi-race. It came from Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez made that word when we were all pickers, and he gave us our rights back. They actually turned around and looked at us because there were Chinamen, there were Irishmen, there were black men, there were Indian pickers, there were Mexican pickers. There was a lot of pickers, and they turned around and looked at us and they said, "Well, what do we call them?" And he goes, "We're Chicanos, because we're multi-race. It's a whole bunch of us." And that's why they put the word in Chicano. So a lot of people mistake it for Mexican American. It actually means multi-race. So we love everyone.
Which kind of goes into the blending pot.
Yeah.
If you could sit down for 1 hour with everybody that's running for president right now, what would you tell them?
I'd say fuck Trump. That's what I'd say.
And would it be a grudge match, or would it be a really good interview?
I think it would be a really good interview because I would ask them a lot of questions that a lot of politicians would be scared to ask.
What would you say to Hillary?
To Hillary? Why she didn't leave her man when she found out he cheated on her. What kind of a woman is she?
What else would you say to her?
That she's just paid. Because a real woman would have left her man and then came back. That's why we don't respect her.
Would you say that she's merely running on the primary fact, vote for me, I'm a woman?
Yes. Yes. And it's really sad that a lot of women are going towards that because they're trying to see that first woman presidency, which is fine. I want to see that first woman president, which I would rather it be Jane than anything. But you know what I'm saying? If I want to see the first devil president, then we got Hillary.
Would you say that she has too many skills as a person, as a businesswoman, as a lawyer, to merely say, vote for me because I'm a woman? Does she have more than that to really be offered?
No, not at all. Actually, she's only been running, I think she only ran twice. Bernie's ran 38 times. He has 18 years of experience. She has 2. You can never compare the 2. She's just going off the fact that she's a woman, that's it. That's merely all, which is the same mistake they're going to make that they did with Obama. Only reason they even voted for him for presidency is because they wanted a black president in. And he ended up just ruining the black community.
Doing what you do for Chicano TV, if you could work with anybody to do one show on there, who would you want to do it with?
Bernie Sanders. You can't get me out of Bernie. I love Bernie. Bernie's my man. You know what I mean? I love Bernie. If anything, Bernie, to help him. I really want him to go independent. I feel that they messed up his Democratic votes. And then another thing too, I don't even understand how Hillary is even able to run. She deleted all her emails when they asked her to send them over. That makes her ineligible to run by law.
What would you say to the girl who's having self-doubt issues and it's causing them to have nutrition issues and causing them to have health concerns? And what do you think is the best thing to treat that?
I would tell them that they're beautiful, no matter what size they are. You can be large, you can be small. You're absolutely beautiful. Beauty's only skin deep. This is all fake from the outside. Everything you see on the outside is fake. Your beauty comes from inside.
If you could give a shout out to any 5 people, who are they and why?
Oh, well, of course I want to give a shout out to Sisters at Best, the show, because, you know, the girls at Sisters at Best, Victoria and Nicole, they like to expose, you know, wrongdoings, and I like that. You know, I like to expose wrongdoings. I'd like to send a shout out to Boogie, the head of the Hoodie Awards. He actually gave me an opportunity last year, and I was nominated for a Hoodie Award. We didn't win, but at least we were nominated, you know what I'm saying? And I know he's going through a lot of hard times, but I want to tell him that it's going to be okay, you know? And then I'd love to send a shout out to my son, the vice president of Chicano TV. It's Gabriel Diamond right there. He's always had my back, and he's been very supportive when we were homeless. And I was pushing a carreta down the street, and actually I was pushing a carreta down the street exactly where I spoke for Bernie Sanders a year later, which is so funny. My son never left my side, and I told him, you know, don't walk beside me. I don't want them to make fun of you, when we had all our clothes in a cart. And he'd say, no, I'm walking beside you because you're my mother.
When you met Bernie Sanders, what did you forget to tell him?
What did I forget to tell him? A lot of stuff. I think I was just more in the moment of taking a picture with him.
So if you could do it again, you got a chance again, just because of all the stuff you did in the past, help create that step to get you that second chance. What do you say?
Well, the one main thing that what I would do with Bernie is I would stand behind him so they wouldn't mistake him for Trump. For a long time, they were mistaking him for Trump for the first 6 months. That's why I was standing behind him, so they saw a Mexican woman standing behind them. And even at one point in time, we were even going to get me an Aztec outfit, you know, to stand behind Bernie. But that was all going to be a little like later, once he, you know, got into presidency and all that stuff. But if I could say it all over again, if I could run into Bernie again, I'd probably just tell him thank you, to tell you the truth. Because he just did so much. What could you tell him?
Now, one of the last times we saw each other, one was at the Tucson and 5th Annual Hip Hop Picnic and Photo Shoot. Another time was... Yeah, it was probably that same one. But Stacy Theus with the cannabis was there.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience.
Oh man, Stacy's so awesome. I love the cannabis. Everybody from the 420 Social Club is so friendly and nice. They're some of the realest people I've ever met. And they're so loving and welcoming. I hate the way people are always targeting them and think they're bad people, when it's actually all love. All you feel is love. When you go in the cannabis, that's all you feel is love. You're welcomed at any point in time. Stacey was one of the most amazing women I've ever met. I mean, just for her to do that journey and from state to state, from city to city, that takes a lot out of, especially a woman. She's a woman, you know, doing it and representing the 420. That I admire her a lot. And then when the cannabis, it was awesome. Besides the little incident where a drunk man jumped on the bus and I almost kicked his ass. I had to literally stand up. That's when I went from motivational speaker to cage fighter.
And so, so then, do you think the situation you were in before could happen to you again?
Yes, and it has happened actually. Since we were out of homelessness, we had an incident where I had gotten like into a small argument with my son, and he broke a window. You know, to just you know, children how they do it. But the breaking of the window violated the lease, which put us back into homelessness for an entire week. And I was like, this is not happening to me again. And in that week, I just motivated myself so hard in that hotel room to get us back on track. I was amazed that I did it so fast in 1 week. Usually, the last time I was homeless, it took me a year and a half to get back on track. But I was so fed up with being homeless, and I already knew what it was like and where I was going, that I knew how to pull myself out of it quickly. And I think that's what a lot of people do is when they first go homeless, it's almost like you're almost in shock, and you kind of just sit there and you just let it happen to you because you've never been homeless before. You don't really think it'll happen to you. And then when you're finally in the streets, you're like, what the hell happened? How did this happen to me? I just had a house. I just had everything. How? And then to get back on track is so hard. It is so hard to get back on track, to get a deposit, to get your rent, to get your furniture. Just to get back on track is one of the hardest things. Once you lose your house, it is literally impossible to get back on track. But since I had that happen to me before, almost it was kind of like a shock mode. So I kind of like stayed like I just stopped. You know what I mean? Stopped doing everything. I stopped working. I just stopped doing everything. And this time I was like, I'm not stopping. I'm gonna keep looking for a home. I'm gonna keep fighting. If I have to panhandle every day, that's what I'm gonna have to do. Even if I'm a Chicana motivational speaker, no matter what I am, I'm gonna humble myself for the better of my family.
And so, what would you say to that service provider who's has a client who's a mother or a woman facing homelessness and might have to make some of the hardest choices?
What do you mean by like leaving their children?
As far as how to communicate things about their children, what are the better options? How to better keep that family together?
To be honest with you, in the state of Arizona, it's very hard. Tucson's even harder. They make it literally impossible for you. They separate your family when you come homeless. They make the men go to the men's shelter and the women go to the women's shelter, so then you break your family trust.
What does it mean to have a safe place for you to sleep?
Oh, there's nothing like a safe place. There's nothing like a safe place to sleep where you don't have to look over your shoulder, where the time goes by fast, where there's air, where you don't feel like you're going to get raped or you're going to get touched or your children are going to get assaulted or you're going to get beat up. There's nothing like a feeling like a safe place.
When you were homeless, did you ever have an experience where you couldn't find the bathroom?
Yes, sir. Many occasions. People were so heartless. And it really hurt my feelings because once I became homeless, I found out who my real friends were, who my real family was. I mean, there was times that I used to allow people to come over, hang out all day at my house. And then when I became homeless and I asked them if we could go to their house, we had to bring stuff. We had to bring them money. We could only stay a couple of hours. Then when we gave them the money, they'd throw us out the next day. It was just ugly, ugly, ugly. You find out who your real friends are when you're homeless. Who really is there for you when you're homeless. And I kind of thank God that he did put me through that, because I was able to turn around and find out who was fake.
How many beds are there for women to sleep in Tucson if they come to that situation?
God is so horrible. To tell you the truth,
Tucson take care of its women?
No, they do not. They do not take care of their women. It's really, really bad. The only kind of one shelter they have is Emerge, and it feels like a prison. When you go in, it's really bad. There is there's 4 beds, but there can be as much as 8 people in one small room, a very small bedroom. and then 8 people in another small bedroom, and you all share one bathroom. So it's 60
Kind
people
of
in
like
one bathroom.
Overstuffed prison.
Yeah, like an overstuffed prison. That's the only thing they have for women. Is
Or
merch,
one of
that's it.
Joropao's tent cities.
Let's just put it this way: Joropao's tent cities has more rooms than the women.
What does that say about the Tucson community to you or its leaders when Joropao is offering more beds than they are down here?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It really upsets me a lot. You're telling me there's more room in prison for us than there is out here? That's impossible. That's impossible.
Tell me this: when you, just being a woman, a princess, a queen, a goddess, however any woman likes to be call themselves beautiful and think they're wonderful, and the way they build themselves up, however they want to do it, even if it's saying that they're a gangster, or they choose the word slutty, or this or that, or punk or goth. There are certain feminine things about presenting yourself to be your best. There's your makeup, there's your jewelry, there's a certain color you like, you like to carry a purse, you like to have bracelets, you have certain hygiene needs.
Yes.
Tell me about losing that.
Oh man, that's one of the worst things in the world. When a woman loses their personal property, almost it's kind of like our security blanket, you know, our little makeup, our little bag, and when you lose all that and you don't even have it, it makes you feel like a small woman, you know. It makes you feel little. It makes you feel beneath everybody. Even though I know it's just a little bit of makeup, I know it's just kind of like our security blanket that we have. And at one point in time, I did lose all that. I didn't have any makeup. I didn't have any clothes. Nothing. I couldn't even do a show. And the children turned around and they were actually taking a lipstick from their mom's purse and bringing it to me, so I would put it on and then go and returning it back. I mean, who does that? Who cares that much but children? That's why I love working with children, because they're so innocent and they're the ones that are mostly bashed and less cared for in Arizona.
When it comes to the homeless, we don't talk much about the children. We actually talk more about the children who get in trouble and the kids who perform at the very top.
Yes.
Do you think that has changed your child, and do you think people think, hey, that was one we could have lost, that's one we could have made way better?
Actually, to tell you the truth, it made my child stronger, because I didn't abandon him. I stood by his side, and he saw that I struggled, and he actually struggled with me, and he helped me, and it became a team effort, you know. And a lot of people, when the children see that you're struggling and that you're trying for them, they actually become better, and they're nicer, and they want to be more motivated. Like for instance, the whole year and a half we were homeless, my son, he went to school every day, perfect attendance, and straight A's, every single day. And there was times that he even went to school with no food, but he still went. Even though he was going to be humiliated and embarrassed, he did not care. He wanted his education. A lot of the homeless children are so beautiful, and they say they get into trouble. It's not even true. All they really want to do is go to school and be loved.
Do you think you still have unresolved trauma from being in a homeless situation?
Yes, definitely.
How so?
I can tell that there's times that I'll like if I'm in a lone state, you know what I'm saying, and I'll catch myself like, whoa, you know, like is somebody gonna touch me or grab my stuff, you know, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm by myself in my home. Why am I doing that, you know? So it left me a little traumatized, you know, especially because when we lived at the Greyhound Family Shelter, every time we'd get off 6th Avenue, the bus, there's always prostitutes up and down that street and pimps, and they were always trying to take our bags, you know, our backpacks, whatever we had. Luckily, I'm a large woman, you know, and they were a little scared of that. But there was times that I would see the smaller women coming and they would steal their bags, and I just thought it was so wrong because I knew they had nothing. They knew they were coming to a shelter. Why would you steal the one little bag they had? And that's just the way society is.
And so
they almost downplay the homeless, neglect the homeless. They almost don't want to speak to you. They look at you like they're better than you, you know? And that's not true at all.
do you think that if people have trauma from that situation, that's something that we should be offering a service for, to help someone move past that, to heal them from that experience, to give them something?
Yes, I've always thought that there should be some type of like, if not counseling, but some type of, group for people they can meet, they can talk about it, you know, because at the end it does give you post-traumatic stress disorder. And it's PTS can get really dangerous at some point in time. You know what I'm saying? If it's not treated properly, it can actually be dangerous.
For the person who is struggling right now, who is struggling, they know they're onto something. There's something that's itching at them. And they come across this show. They come across you.
I would tell them never to give up. If you feel it in you, go for it. No matter what it takes, you know what I'm saying? Don't ever be embarrassed of what people are going to think about you, because they're always going to talk about you, and they're always going to talk bad. They're never going to talk good. So don't even see that. Look at your children. Look at your future. Look at who you're going to inspire. Look at the fact that you were going to give up, but who you're leaving behind. You know what I'm saying? Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody is worth something. I don't care who you are. You are a beautiful person inside. You are a human being. God made us all for one reason, and it was because we were all beautiful in His eyes. No matter what we look like on the outside, it's beauty's within. If you feel like giving up, don't give up. There's no reason to. Look at my situation. I come from nothing. I come from no one. And now I'm speaking in public places, going to TMZ movie premieres, you know? It's just, it's amazing how God can change your life in one split second when you actually believe in it.
If there's someone who is listening that wants to become a public speaker, what advice would you give?
I would tell them to just keep trying, to give it their all, never to stop, because that's what we need. We need public speakers, especially women public speakers. If that's your passion, you already have it in you, continue it, because there's none of us out here, none of us.
Are you going to Disney World?
No. I'm still going to be poor. No, I'm not going to Disney World unless Disney World decide to give all the 88 kids a free flight down there and free everything, then we'd all go, but no.
All right, cool. I definitely want to thank you for agreeing to be on my radio show. It is a delight to speak to you, and I can't tell you how much it's healed me. It's healed other people in this room, how it's changed the energy in this room. And just helping this Speaking Poorly radio show and what I'm doing with Homeless News now to bring attention to these areas and to put a face and a name so that people can see the story and they can experience something through that story. So I want to thank you.
I want to thank you for actually acknowledging us, Anthony. You're one of the few people that does that. You know, that actually, like, I'm one of the few people also that says, I was homeless and I was pushing a cart down the street. A lot of people keep that quiet. They won't say anything about it. So that's why homeless people do not get acknowledged. And I want to actually thank you for the Speak Poorly and everything that you're doing. It's really amazing. You're very amazing, and you actually inspire me and you inspire my son. So we also want to thank you for even having the show and having us on it. Thank you so much.
And do you feel that it's the people who follow you that have a big part of where you are now?
Yes, definitely. It's all the love and attention that I've been getting and the praises. And I just basically want to thank everybody.
And so everybody, this is Anthony Potter, host of the Speaking Poorly radio show, brought to you by Homeless News Now, La Indita Restaurant, the 420 Social Club, and Unholy Tattoo, providing you with quality service, a safe place to speak on social issues, and even Unholy Tattoo serving you 24 hours a day. This show is here to bring attention and awareness to the 12 million plus Americans living without a roof, sleeping on a sidewalk, sleeping in the tunnel, for sleeping on a friend's couch, inside a car, wherever you're at. Thank you for listening, and this one's for you.
Tequila!